This is text structure level 2 nonfiction or organizational patterns video. So a text structure is how the text is organized. And whenever I say text, it means like a passage or a paragraph, anything that is written and that you can read. All stories are chronological. Okay? Nonfiction has lots of text structures, and each paragraph may be different. So that means if we have a 5-paragraph informational piece, each of those paragraphs in the informational piece can be a different text structure. We're going to learn 6 different types. The first one is chronological, which means in order of time. If we break down the word chronological, chrono literally means time. So stories are told chronologically in time. So if we look down here, we can see some example graphic organizers that help us figure out if something is chronological. So if we were to watch a movie and say there was a girl that moved away, or someone that moved away, and they met a girl and they fell in love, those events happen in chronological order. So if we were to take a timeline, that also shows chronological order. We could start our timeline when we were born and then put dates in between our birth date and then whatever, if there is even a death date or what, or at present time, and then important events would go along your timeline. The second one is sequence or order of importance. You may even hear it called sequential order. So sequence are steps described in the order that they occur. So if you told someone how to do something step by step, that's order of importance or sequence. So if we were going to tell someone how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, we would tell them, first you get bread, then you open the jars, you spread the peanut butter on the bread, then you spread the jelly on the bread, you combine the 2 slices, and then you can eat it. We've told how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in sequential order. The difference between chronological and sequence is that sequence does not take place at any specific point in time. Chronological does because it's represented by a timeline. Our third one is cause and effect. Cause and effect explains reasons why something happened, or it explains the effect of something. So, we have not feeding it, not petting it, and not loving it results in why the dog ran away. Okay? So the text is not telling the story of a dog, it's giving reasons why something happened. So our other example here, there were lots of karate movies in the 60s. Because of that, it resulted in many karate schools opening, nunchuck sales increased 400%, and hospital cases went up. So something happens and it results in something else. Or something has happened and it's the cause of all these other things. Next we have problem and solution. The author states a problem and gives its solution. So it's very similar to cause and effect. We have missing books, putting in the closet, getting lockers. So we have these books and they're missing. So we start putting them in the closet, which doesn't work. So then, or we put them in the closet as a solution, or we put them in the lockers as a solution. Over here we have eagles were endangered. So we make some laws to protect them. And so since we have made these laws to protect the eagles, it's a solution to our problem of eagles being endangered. Basically, cause and effect with an opinion and an answer. So cause and effect says that something happens and it results in this, or these results were because of this, but it doesn't ever give us a solution. Problem solution does give us an answer. Next we have compare and contrast. Compare is to find similarities and differences. Contrast means to find. So compare and contrast shows what's in common and what's different about different or two or more different things. So if we were to compare apples and oranges, we would say how they're alike. They're fruits, they have seeds, they're healthy, and we would also say how they're different. Apples are red, oranges are orange, they taste differently, they're found in different locations. Last one we have is descriptive, or it can also be called spatial. Spatial organization is when information in a passage is organized in order of space or location. So if you were to describe the room in which you're sitting right now, you would be using spatial organization. You could say where the door was from where you were at. You could say where the windows were at, if there were tables or chairs or any kind of furniture, maybe a trash can. You can say where those things are located in the room. So spatial organization may also be called descriptive writing, and it is most frequently used when the narrator describes how something looks. So if we were looking at a woman that we had never seen before, and we started describing what color her eyes were, what color her hair was, what kind of style clothes she was wearing, that would be descriptive. So spatial organization is generally pretty easy to identify, but be aware that spatial organization is used in both fiction and in nonfiction texts. So now let's go to our practice. They will start easy, but it will get harder. So you're going to read the paragraphs, and then you're going to try to identify the text structure. Deviled eggs. Pop out, remove the egg yolks to a small bowl and mash with a fork. Add mayonnaise, mustard powder, vinegar, salt, and pepper, and mix thoroughly. Fill the empty egg white shells with the mixture and sprinkle lightly with paprika. Cover lightly with plastic wrap and refrigerate it for up to 1 day before serving. Write down your answer. Number 2, sports at Erickson. There are 2 popular sports played at Erickson, basketball and volleyball. Both take place inside the gym at Erickson. Also, each sport has 2 teams of people. In basketball, however, the ball can be played off of the floor, and in volleyball, the ball cannot touch the floor or it is out of play. Basketball and volleyball are popular sports at Erickson. The lazy student. When Tim woke up, he didn't want to go to school. His mom took him away, so he went to school, but he didn't do any work. The days passed, and Tim still didn't do any work. Mr. Morton called Tim's house, but Tim still wouldn't do any work. Finally, the report cards came out, and Tim failed his classes. Tim was sad. Number 4, failing classes. Lots of students fail classes. Some students fail because the work is too hard for them. Other times they may fail because they are lazy and don't do any work. Another reason why students may fail is if they don't go to school. If you are not in class, you may miss a lot. Many students fail classes every quarter. Number 5. Passing classes. A lot of students have been failing classes. These students wouldn't be failing classes if they studied more, asked questions, tried harder, and came in for extra help. Even though a lot of students fail classes, they have many options if they want to pass. Number 6. Volcanoes are a feared and destructive force for a good reason. A volcano is like a pressure valve for the inner earth, but they can also be very beautiful. One part of the volcano that people rarely see is the magma chamber. The magma chamber is way beneath the Earth's bedrock. It is tremendously hot. Running from the magma chambers to the crater of the volcano is the conduit. The conduit connects the magma chamber to the outer world. At the top of the volcano is the crater. This is where the magma exits. Volcanoes are a beautiful yet dangerous natural phenomenon. Gail Denvers. Denvers experienced the highlight of any sprinter's career as she stood on the huge platform in the giant stadium and received an Olympic gold medal. 18 months earlier, she wasn't thinking about running. She was hoping that she would be able to walk again. Just 4 years earlier, in the summer of 1988, as Denvers was training for the Olympic Games to be held in Seoul, South Korea, she began to feel very tired all the time and failed to make the Olympic finals. Number 8. 3 types of circus clowns. Generally, there are 3 categories of circus clowns: whiteface, August, and character. Each has a specific makeup style and costume. Each has a typical act as well. The neat whiteface is usually a strict, in-charge character who sets up the punchline for the joke with a partner. His facial features are neatly detailed in red or black. Circus legend has it that the August clown got his name from a German nickname for someone who is clumsy. The August wears light-colored makeup, but white is used around the mouth and eyes, and there's a big red nose. This clown performs a great deal of slapstick humor. Character clowns perform as different personalities: cowboys, scarecrows, grandmothers, or symphony conductors. The most famous character clown, however, is the tramp. Tramps wear different styles of makeup and costumes that are torn or shabby. Some tramp clowns are happy-go-lucky, others are extremely sad. Still others act like gentlemen who just happen to be out of money. Number 9. How to use the microscope. 1. Plug in the lamp. 2. Place a sample of what you wish to observe on a slide. 3. Adjust the mirror so it reflects light from the room up into the objective lens. 4. Place your slide with the specimen directly over the center of the glass circle on the stage. 5. With the low-power objective lens placed over the slide, use the coarse focus knob. 6. Look through the eyepiece with one eye while closing the other eye. 7. Use the fine focus knob to fine. Number 10. Fewer toads. Though toads are still around, they no longer are as common in some areas as they were a few decades ago. The growing use of insecticides has reduced their numbers. The chemical sprays usually do not harm toads, but cut down the animal's food supply. Thereby, the toads do not have enough food to survive. There are fewer toads in many areas populated by humans. Last one, number 11. Restoring the toad. Dr. Knapp doesn't want people to sit back and let the toad vanish. He believes that everyone is responsible for restoring the toad species. Dr. Knapp thinks we could help restore the toad population if we stop mowing parts of our lawns and let the grass grow wild to reserve space for the toad. He also believes we need to stop using pesticides and fertilizers. The chemicals kill the insects that toads eat. If we preserve some spaces in our lawns and stop using fertilizers, Dr. Knapp believes we can save the toads. Okay, so let's go back and check our answers. Number 1 was sequence. 2 was compare and contrast. 3 was chronological. 4, cause and effect. 5, problem and solution. 6, description or spatial. 7, chronological. 8, compare and contrast. 9, sequence. 10, cause and effect. And 11, problem and solution.